Hi, I'm Lisa Ryan. My topic today is about losing parents. Losing one parent is very difficult, but losing two leaves us an orphan. Can adults be orphaned? I think so. We are still children whose parents are gone. If this is your situation today, I want to acknowledge your struggle and encourage you toward greater peace and empowerment. Gaining calm and feeling solid and strong may not come overnight, but these things will come if we take wise steps toward healing and growth. There are many shifts that occur when both parents have passed, so it's no wonder it takes some time to process. Even if our losses were long ago, there may still be tender spots in our hearts that we need to care for and nurture. Many years have passed since my mother died, almost 36, and sometimes I still miss her. Missing someone, however, is not the same as being crippled by loss. If we have been weakened by a loss, it is time to find new strength because of the loss. We do this with choices, and as we do this, we become more insightful, more compassionate, more powerful. Your loving parent would want this for you. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge those who were always missing one parent or both in the home they grew up in. I'm one of those kids. My father, though he had been married to my mom for many years, never played a role in my life. When I think back, I'm a bit amazed because he didn't live far away. I can't imagine ignoring a child, but I know many others have experienced this. Abandonment or neglect are forms of abuse. These forms of abuse affect more children than sexual and physical abuse combined, and they are equally damaging. Nonetheless, as we grow up, it becomes our responsibility to take care of ourselves and set a good trajectory for our lives. As you will hear me say throughout my videos, adversity equals opportunity. Two of many good things that can come from these experiences are great compassion and deep insight. When both of our parents have died, we can experience many difficult adjustments. One thing we lose is a holder of memories. We can no longer ask them questions about ourselves when we were small or growing up. We lose them as family historians too. I had trouble knowing I could never share memories with my mother again, at least not during this earthly life. After losing our parents, we may reevaluate our other relationships and the goals we have for our own lives. The fact that this body of ours will come to an end hits home when we are the eldest in our generational line. We might also feel a shift in the family dynamic. Maybe a parent lived with us. Maybe we were always at their house for a certain holiday. Perhaps we went to parents for guidance. Maybe a routine with a parent has ended and our daily life is altered. Coping with the void is challenging and takes time. When something good happens to me, I miss my mom, who would always share in the joy. There was no jealousy from a mom, you know? This ring was hers, and it makes me feel close to have it on. I like that. I hope that if you have lost your parent, that you parted on good terms. If not, you may also be coping with unresolved feelings or regrets. You can still talk to your parent, even if they aren't present. If you feel your actions toward a parent were wrong, you can ask God and your parents for forgiveness and receive that forgiveness. Blaming ourselves for things that were said or done serves no good purpose. Once we have awareness, then we must shift our focus from our wrong to focus on how we will do better in the future. Focusing on blame is like landing in a tar pit. We become stuck. If you blame a parent and refuse to forgive them, then you end up in the same pit. If this is you now, you can get unstuck by redirecting your mind toward the future and refusing to ruminate about past mistakes or grievances. One day, I was in a Hallmark store. It was probably 15 years after my mom had died. It was near Mother's Day. I had been through many Mother's Days without my mom and without a lot of emotion, but suddenly I couldn't hold back the tears. I was surprised by all the emotion. Triggers like that can suddenly pull up a lot of emotion. When this happens, we can know that we are quite normal. If we behave kindly and patiently with ourselves, the emotions pass and we can go have an ice cream cone or listen to a favorite song. We are okay. Perhaps the toughest thing we have to live with is an enduring sadness and loss. Grief takes time to work through, so patience with ourselves is needed. In the beginning, I cried a lot. It seemed very rude to me that the whole world didn't stop with my loss. It just kept going as usual, even the very next day. Over time, the tears became less frequent, and I found that I was still living. The loss didn't kill me. In a way, I felt a little braver. If the people that I had loved that had transitioned out of this life into the next could do it, I could too. Help from God, friends, and professionals is available. Keeping things in perspective really helps. Having faith helps a lot. Just getting out and being with others is good too. It gives us grief breaks. I think of this life as the pre-life. Our world has many problems that I could easily say goodbye to right now. It's not really living while so many still suffer. I look forward to the real life, heavenly life. While we walk the earth, we are to learn and grow bright. We need to shed light while we're here because that serves our fellow humans. In order to do this, though, we need strength. We decide how we want to live, no matter what has happened. It's really a simple concept. Our emotions can tell us that we are weak and we can't do whatever, but our minds can override those emotions by deciding to embrace positive thoughts that are encouraging and give us power. Then we grow in light and we can spread it around to all we contact. Yes, even if we've had a terrible loss, we can do this. Maybe not immediately, but we can get there. This honors those we have lost far more than sitting in tar. A great thought and reality is that there are other people who can be motherly or fatherly to us. Many older people desire younger people in their lives. We can give our love to them. At Christmas, a longtime friend wrote about her gratitude to a young family that was incorporating her into their lives as a mom and grandmother figure. I was really happy for all of them. Custom-made families are beautiful too. If you're lucky enough to find this type of relationship, I hope you thank God often. The road to peace is acceptance and trust. We trust that God is ultimately in charge and accept the reality that we all will leave these mortal bodies. We may not relish this idea, but maybe it's a more acceptable plan than we know. So many over history have been comforted by the promises in the Bible. They are so good that one can wonder if they are true. But as I stood over my mom's casket and gazed in, it was crystal clear that she wasn't there. I just saw a body that I recognized. That was comforting to me. She wasn't dead, she was elsewhere. I believe that the veil between here and there is thin. One reason I believe this is because of some of the things I have experienced. A few years ago, I had a friend that was murdered. It was a horrible and shocking thing. One day after her death, I decided to dance in my home for 1 hour in honor and remembrance of her. At one point while I danced, I twirled around in front of some glass doors, and for a split second, I saw her dancing with me on the other side. She was very smiley and had on something flowy. It made me catch my breath because I wasn't thinking anything like that. It caught me off guard. It was brief and beautiful and reassuring. I think she was present with me. One other time, I felt my mom's presence very strongly. She was close to me, and I hadn't even been thinking of her, but I was concerned about something. I just think she was there to let me know it would be okay. I hope your parents were people that you loved, but even if they weren't, even if you're glad one or both of them are gone, you are still left without parents. Deep inside, we all long for parents that are healthy in all ways and cherish us. The great news is that we all have a God with mother and father qualities who is perfect in all ways and adores us. Scripture tells us that we are the apple of his eye, each one of us. Sometime after I lost my mom, I saw Isaiah 66:13. It says, "As one who is comforted by his mother, so I will comfort you." That is an astounding scripture. It is beautiful and life-giving. If we will only trust, we have everything available to us that we will ever need. Please remember to replay your happy memories whenever you need them. And if you know of someone who might benefit from this video, let them know that you care by passing it forward.